Hi, we're at the Spanish Fork Airport. I'm Chris Child, I'm the airport manager, and I'm here with Dr. James Stewart, who is the chairman of
the Gail S. Halvorsen Aviation Education Foundation.
And so for those of you who may not be familiar with Gail Halvorsen and who he is, I'm going to let Dr. Stewart tell us just a little bit about the legacy and the history of Gail Halvorsen, who is a local legend and hero, I would say.
I would say so too. Gail Halvorsen grew up in Utah, was a young man in the northern Utah during the throes of the Depression, watched airplanes go overhead carrying mail from Salt Lake City to Malad, Idaho. And while he was hoeing beets, he said, I've got to learn how to do that because I don't want to do this anymore. In 1948, the Soviets blockaded Western Berlin, which was then under the control of the United States, Britain, and France, and tried to starve the Berliners into submission and be able to take West Berlin without firing a shot. In response, the Western Allies mounted an airlift to bring coal, food, fuel, and other staples needed to sustain life for 2 million people in West Berlin. During that time, Gail noticed that there were kids at the airport watching through the fence, as kids do. He went over and talked to these kids and developed a relationship with them. He was halfway to the Jeep, had a thought, I need to do something for these kids. He turned back to the fence, walked up, he only had 2 sticks of gum, and he said, if you kids will share this, I'll bring you more. So on the next day's flight, he had pulled together his candy ration, the candy ration of the other guys on his aircraft. They fashioned some parachutes out of handkerchiefs and dropped candy to the kids as they were on short final to land at Tempelhof. Word spread very quickly that the Americans were doing something very strange to help the children. And he publicized this. Gail was called into the office of his commanding officer to explain why he was dropping candy to Berlin kids without authorization. And then when they realized that this was a great friendship building thing, they continued. Ultimately, they dropped 23 tons.
Wow.
23 tons of candy to the children in Berlin. Gail continued in aviation. He retired from the Air Force in the early 80s. His last assignment in the Air Force was as the commander of the Tempelhof Air Base. And so he finished his career where it really kicked off in Berlin.
So Gail Halvorsen's the Berlin Candy Bomber is what he's known by. He still lives in our community, and he turns 99 this year?
On October the 10th.
And so at our event, Aeroplanes, Trains, and Automobiles, we're going to be lucky enough to have Gail do a candy drop. And so we're really excited. These are the parachutes that they'll be dropping. And the parachute is almost a better reward than the candy bar. These are fabric parachutes. They have mesh on the bottom so that when they open up, they don't the strings don't tangle. And so these are kind of a neat thing for the kids to play with. So we're excited to have the kids come down and get a parachute from the original Berlin Candy Bomber. We'll be auctioning off the chance to ride with Gail during this candy drop, and so that would be a really neat thing for somebody to be able to say that they actually rode on a candy drop with the Berlin Candy Bomber. And so you'll be able to submit a bid. Just send the bid to cchild@SpanishFork.org. The proceeds from this auction are going to be going to build the Gail S. Halvorsen Education Center here at the Spanish Fork Airport. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what that's going to be here at the airport?
So, to meet the need of the expanding field of aeronautical science and engineering, The Education Center will provide educational enhancement experiences for elementary, middle school, and high school kids where they can come learn more about aviation, learn more about science, technology, engineering, math, or STEM, and be able to do that in an aviation environment. This will be a great advantage for kids going into high school and later into college because they'll have a leg up on these important and desirable skills.
Well, that sounds great. I know we're really excited about having a facility like that down here at the airport. We're aviation over the next few years. There's a ton of demand for new pilots, and we have a lot of training that goes on down here at the Spanish Fork Airport. And so a great opportunity to come get familiar with the airport is our Airplanes, Trains, and Automobiles event. We're going to have Porsches doing an autocross. We're going to have cars racing. We're going to have exotic cars, seeing how fast they can go. We've got aerobatic performances. It all starts at 10 a.m. on August 24th, runs till 4 p.m. We'll have food trucks, so you can come down and have lunch down here. We're going to have plenty of parking this year, so it shouldn't take too long to get in here to the airport. And skydivers, we're going to have medical helicopters, we're going to have military things for people to see. So just a ton of really neat things to see down here at the airport. We hope you'll come down and join us. Come join us at the Aeroplanes, Trains, and Automobiles event Saturday, August 24th, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and save money by buying your tickets at sfcitytix.com.